Hi, John here. Today is Wednesday, 22nd of April 2015. I want to talk today about the tidal turbines, the Moai tidal turbines project that we're promoting on the crowdfunding site. Although we don't have models to show you, we will as soon as we get funding, because it will take a bit of time to get that done. But nevertheless to say that our plans will be going through COWI, C-O-W-I, COWI Design Engineers in Denmark, to draw the plans up for us. What we have to do is pay them to carry on with it and sit around the table with them when Jamie Anna Marie Patrick Stewart is my secretary, and she'll be going with me up to England, and then we'll sort out things there politically under the King William IV, this flag here, jurisdiction and constitution in the sea. So everything that we do will have a monarch sovereign authority attached to the resources in the sea and the environment and everything under a King of England title, which is what I'm there as, his surrogate King William IV business partner in commerce. So that does matter a lot on who we are and what we do and how we do it. One thing I want to make certain with the tidal turbines, I'll explain a little bit of how it works, but that's about all I can do at this stage until we get crowdfunding going. I'll explain it as we go along. I think you'll get the idea of how it works in the concept ideas. I see one of the turbines with the slats going like this under the sea, the big blades, 3 of them, that go like that. That's the idea that we use, only hydraulically bigger, but I think they might have seen something of that concept behind the concept we have been trying to get off the ground for a long time. So that idea works. It works on a similar pattern of vanes that are turning with the tide, against the tide and with the tide. So the idea of what we patented under King William IV is that's what we're doing with the turbine blades to create the in-stream tidal capture of the force of the water going in one direction. Okay, so they go slow, the same as what they're saying in their concept plan. So how they managed to get the idea is just something that's more viable to capture big tides and big power under the ocean right down. And so that just gives you an idea of that concept is starting to take its place, rather than the wind turbines shape of tidal turbines, which only gives about 1.2 megawatts of power from a big windmill under the water, whereas we've got something that'll pull out more power with hydrogen added in the mix. Okay, so hydrogen and magnets, superconducting magnets that give us more power. So I'll just go back to where we are with the political scene. Has to be set first, and we are going to Devonport This is for the people in the crowdfunding of the this site, the energy crowdfunding site that we're on now. We'll put this video on there to show how our concept works. Quite plainly today, I can recall how it works from 2012 back to 2008, when we started to put something together right back as far as 2004 with this concept, when New Zealand started to do the funding for these sort of projects. That I entered the Scottish contest with this idea, but we didn't have funding to carry on with it, so I missed out then. That's going back some time, 2008 I think it is, when you'll see us there as being one of the contenders. And we did win one of the projects here in New Zealand as viable, but we still didn't have the rest of it to finish off the consents into the councils. Although we got good feedback from the Northland District Council, thought it was a good idea, rather than what they saw in the other projects that are there now in Kaipara, with those wind turbine things under the water, which was going to take up a lot of the marine space and the fisheries. So we're doing away with all of that by going deeper and right out of shipping channels, and in the rough places where there's rocks, and away from built-up areas or local communities. So we're going at least going beyond, 25 kilometres out off the coast of any country to do these projects, right out of shipping lanes and right in the best tides that are more violent and got a history of same currents every year. Typical of the East Cape, Hicks Bay and Te Araroa, Ruatoria, around that area, East Cape Island, Whana or Kena Island, it's going one way to Chile. From there to Chile, from the East Cape, Te Pito, that's the first rising sun in the world, is there. So it's got a few things going for it. And the closest distance to the sun is there, right on that spot. We're going out at least 50 kilometres on the between 25 and 50 kilometres on the Ranfurly Bank area up the Kermadec. Anywhere along there where we can find the most tidal shift speed and volumes screaming around the ridges of the rocks down below. Okay, so that's the idea of going into the Orkney Islands in Scotland, where it's rough, and off the islands there, one of the islands, so we'll just go on one of the islands, park ourselves, and then we go to or Pentland Firth. So I think there'll be enough turbines around Pentland Firth, but we'll go where nobody goes, right out of the safe zone into the rough zone, the roughest zones we can get into. And you'll see in some of the places where it's really rough. So that's where we're going, right in the middle of that, and fixed to rocks. Fixed to rocks, and bigger the better. So that gives you a idea. You'll see some pictures. I'll put a picture of our concept there. It's complicated to look at because it's involving high-tech equipment that I don't want to draw in or put there. because of the ideas of using superconducting magnets. I have put some ideas there and some videos of how it works, but then that's really up to the budget and up to those who are going to build it, who we contract to do it under this flag. Okay, and everything we do is under the King William IV flag of Admiralty in the sea, King of the Sea. Okay, King William, King of the Sea. That's his title. And also we have our own sovereign state government on the bridge. So every bridge that we put up is a airport, an international airport for the new British Labcat A2 passenger airline. That I'm hoping that while we're in Britain we can go and speak to the British Labcat people. I think that's the European Commission that are behind that, or behind Sabre, the other hydrogen plane the concept, Sabre, and there's another one, I can't think of it, but there's three of them that we have an option to go and see, and once we get our budgets going. So the crowdfunding that we have is an initial setup to get us there from here, and to help us to sort out the lawyers, to pay the lawyers here, and the private investigators to do the titles of the lands that we're seizing with the debtors levy pound note. So our pound note is our own pound note of King William, and the coins, the gold coins that we'll be minting when we get around to it in Dover, in Devonport in England. Okay, so we're setting up our base station there, and Devonport there, and it's supposed to be Devonport here, but we're downtown. We'll find the right spot for it on Cook Street. Is our sovereign state land, our own indigenous land that we're getting back the British title. That's a British title. So we're setting ourselves up there as a base here, straight to Devonport, England, and straight to the East Cape here on the North Island, New Zealand, on our land blocks, on our native land blocks. So we have systems in place. We have the flag in place. We have our history in place. We have our ideas and our plans in place, the business plans. We have a site, a Moai tidal turbine share gold and water money site. That's www.moaipowerhouse.com. So that's www.moai in lowercase POWERHOUSE.com. www.moaipowerhouse.com. So there you'll see TagPay with our system just going together now. So the funding, the crowdfunding will help us to get the business going, to make our mission to bring people together around the 250 countries in the world. Big job. But we can do it with this flag. This flag allows us, on those bridges, to go around the world in 250 countries with this flag, in the sea, okay, in the sea land, right? We're attaching ourselves to the sea land, which is quite big in the Pacific. We want 60 of those bridges in the Pacific, right around, to land from one to the other. So really, we're going to Britain and Europe because they're the masters of tidal energy up there in Scotland, and I want to put our project up against them to show that we have technology that'll pull the grunt out of the sea into usable rocket solid metal fuel, hydrogen, and jet fuel, hydrogen, liquid hydrogen, as bulk supply. Okay, bulk supply, and also to have it for electric vehicles. So all electric vehicles will have bottles that screw in a bottle, screw in the bottle and screw it out, and they'll have spare bottles at home. So we just they just take them down to the centre on the side of the road, you know, to the centre. Then you just drop them in and take your new ones, and off you go again for another few thousand miles. Okay, so you should be getting 100 k's in a car out of a 1 kg bottle. So you have 5 or 6 of those stacked up in the car, or 2 in the car, and the rest at home on the house. Okay, so that's how this works. You just screw the bottle in the house, and that's about all you do. And you just go up these stations will be all over the place, that there are self-help, like a Coke machine. And put the money in and push a bottle, and the other one flies out the other end. Okay, and it's actually self-filling itself, because we've got a we've got a bottle there to fill them from a bigger solid metal bottle. Okay, like that. It's a bit like that. So the turbines themselves, I just want to explain a little bit about them. They are big blades. They are big blades that are shaped like that, like that book. And then you have the shaft up the middle here, okay? And I'll go get the shaft. Hang on, just hold on. Here we go. I just want to explain. I'll put this on my head, maybe better, so that I can hold this thing up like this. So here we have this long. This is 4 meters from here to here, under the sea, and it's a hole in the rock, and it drops right in. And it's never going to move, okay? So it goes down, 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 up to there. So we've got these blades. I'll just put it up there, okay? We've got these blades like this. Where's another blade? I'll look for another blade. I've got another book somewhere. Hang on, I'll get a book. Oh, just fell. Okay. Now, I'm just going to explain to you. I'm going to explain to you. We've got this turbine with the blades on. Okay, there's the blades. I can't go any. Anyway, we're just going to put them like that. Okay, so this is. We'll have a building up here that will be round, okay, round, and the generator room up there, okay, it's spinning like a donut, floating, right, big donut floating, going round, 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 up here, below the sea. This is at least 25 meters below the low tide, 25 meters down under the sea, okay. Then you've got a big, like a donut sitting here, that's going up and down like that, okay, and it won't go off the top, but that's we've got a building here, right? That's big and round, and it's got legs on the outside. There's 8 legs right around to hold the building right up around there. Okay, so that's these from here, from these turbines. Okay, from these blades, from one end to the other, is 25 meters. Okay, it's 25 meters from the outside to the outside of these blades. Okay, so the blades are going to be going up and down the water like this. Right, with the generator over here, he's going up and down, floating up and down too. Okay, he's floating because he's pumping the water from the bottom of the ocean. So you've got one blade going that way, and the other blade like that. So they go like that. Okay, so you've got one blade up on the down tide, and the other one the other way like that on the up tide. Like that. Okay. So you've got all these blades all the way down to the bottom, all the way down, and they are multiples, and they're all floating up and down with the tide, right? And when the blade goes up, I'm too far away. When the blade goes up, with the blades move up and down like this, because the blade that's, I'll just do one for now, the blade that's here, right, there, okay, when this blade, there, right, when this blade is going against the tide, it's shaped that way, okay, so it's going, if it's going around that way, anti-clockwise, it's going up against the tide, right? But when it goes, when it leaves the back, like straight like that, when it starts to go around, it tips over that way, and then it goes this way. It tips over that way, but it goes up 5 degrees. Okay, so when it goes up 5 degrees against the tide, it lifts it up around till it gets there, and when it goes down the other side, it goes down the other way and pushes down, and it pumps the water at the bottom of the ocean up. So they're oscillating up through the water coming up. The pump is down here, right at the bottom under the sea. So this is in the tide, in the rock. Right, it's dropped in, so that's 4 meters across here. So it's at least 4 to 6 meters solid rock buried down like that, right, into the rock, right, that far. Then it can't shift. And then you've got the pump up here. And then you've got a ramp. You've got the pump at least there. Right, the height of the pump of the blades going up and down. So they're going up and down at least 6 meters, 3 meters up, 3 meters down, 3 meters up, 3 meters down. Every revolution, it's going up a half turn and down the other half turn. So 180 degrees, it's going up. 180 degrees, it goes down and pumps the pump down here. Water goes up there, and bang, the turbines at the top. Right, real grunt. So that's how we get our hydraulic power, is by the oscillating blades on the hub. The hub is around here, the hub, and then the blade, the big blades. Right, they're 10 meters high, 10 meters high. Right, 10 meters from here to here. Right, and from here to here to the center of that is what is it? 12.5. 12.24. Yeah, 12.5 meter radius. So yeah, 12.5. And then you've got, that's over there. If that's there, oops, there. I'll just make it like that. Okay, so here you've got the other pipe over here. Right around 8 of them, like that, to stabilize the whole thing. There's a lot of power and depth. You still need a wide out pipe like this, not this big, but at least 2 meters, 8 of them around the outside, at least 40 meters wide out from the center That's the center pipe. Okay, center pipe. So on the end of the shaft where it goes like, I'll put that way, it's like that. Okay, and I'll put it that way. Oh, that way. Okay, I'll put it that way. So we've got the other shaft going sideways, and that goes there on the middle, and then that goes there. This is the best way I can explain it. This is the best way I can explain it. So the blades are actually going like that. The other half's down here. Okay, there, and then you've got the other pipe going up this way. The same one as this going up, but this one here is only 2 meters diameter, and then you've got the blade on top like that, right, that way, and then the one underneath, like that, one piece around the hub. So this is the axle going horizontal, and then you've got the vertical one that way, and it swings on a hub in here, and it swings like this on there, and goes up and down the hub. So the whole thing slides up, and this is just like that. Okay, you've got a water bearing going up the middle. Okay, up the thing. So that's how that works. Just to let you know a little bit at least about how our system works, and the tidal turbines are really powerful. They have to be strong to hold the current from the water power. It will just rip it to bits. So that's the basic concept, ideas, and so we want to just do that for now, and then when I get some model, I don't need model, we'll just build it straight away. I've got no problem building it, and put it up, straight up, because it'll work, no matter what. The tide will push it around, that's for sure. So we'll just have the planning. I'll just sit down with Koei and some other engineers on Skype, and the other generator people can put their bits into big compressors of 30 tons. Those are the hydrogen compressors. You need a few of those. You need at least 8 of those in this construction. 8 of those big compressors to keep up with these turbines. Okay? There's 10 of them in a row, so that's 50 meters down. 50 meters of depth plus the 25 meters at the top below level. So that's 75, at least 100 meters to the bottom of the ocean. 100 meters will work well on the ridges. Screaming around the water, screaming around the ridge where it'd be fastest. So it works like this. The tide normally in a place like that, in Orkney Islands, or Orkney Islands might go 2 ways. So you got dead tides. The East Cape over here has got a one-way tide. It's going all the time. It might slow down a bit, but it keeps going the one way. See? So we'll find a one-way current in where we go as being historic. It'll have its historic movements in one direction rather than spinning around and going the other way. And so that way we have constant power and no switching off. So we go into an area where it may be, say, an average of 5 knots to 7 knots, say 7 knots speed of the tide shift. That's quite fast. What we're doing is stopping the whole tide down to 1 to 2 knots, and that's where we get the power. By stalling it like a dyno. You see a dyno in a big heavy truck workshop spinning its wheels and stalling it and seeing all the rubber flying off and the smoke. That's the dyno that we're using in this tidal turbine power project on stalling the sea. You're never going to stop it. You're never going to stop it. But you'll pull the power out of it. The tide has to go around it. Okay? It has to go around it. So that's how we get our power. We're taking that power hydraulically through the water pump up to the turbine at the top. So the most pressure of the sea is at the bottom, near the bottom. The highest pressure of water, 14 pounds per square inch per foot or something of depth. And so you multiply that all the way down, you're getting tons at the bottom, even though it's slower than the top. Okay, but the volume moving, that we're only concerned with the volume moving. And even at the bottom, if it was going 3 knots and 7 knots at the top, we can stall it down to no speed and pull that big grunting power out at the bottom. Okay, and it's huge, even at a slow speed. So we convert that hydraulic water pressure would be around about 3,000 pounds pressure in volumes, big volumes, through a pipe that big, 4 meters. It pushed that much water through and hit the turbines. Hit the turbine. It's like a tube, a car tube, but with the middle 4 meters, well, a bit wider, and a hub, and it's going around and spinning around. Okay, it's spinning around, because the water is coming out of the shaft, going up and hit the outside of it and spin the big, heavy steel, concrete, water-filled, ballasted flywheel. Okay, it's a flywheel, and it's spinning like hell. It's floating in the right place. Okay, it's floating. It can go up and down, but it's floating. It keeps going constant, and then the superconducting magnets on the outside to stall it and take the power, electrical power, out of it. Okay, so now we've got electricity 100%, okay, from the hydraulics. So then we take the electricity power, which would absorb about, which would be about 20% of the net out of the water hydraulics. Would use 20% to drive itself, the generators, okay, the water to drive the generators. And so you've got a net out of electricity now, straight electricity, splits the seawater. We used a whole lot of it to split the seawater into dry hydrogen and oxygen. Okay? And that's what we do next, by using electricity to split the water in bulk amount. Bulk amount. Next, we take the dry gas and we compress each one, the hydrogen and the oxygen, into liquid under the compressors, the big compressors, the 30-ton compressors, 8 of them, okay, 8 of them. And so we get the liquid hydrogen. We bottle it in fibre tanks, which is lighter, big fibre tanks, huge fibre tanks. We've now got plans to build a hovercraft ship that's a submarine, a hover submarine that can carry those bottles under the water, and they're at least 80 meters long to 100 meters long. The ship that goes on land and straight to the bottom of the ocean. That's the one we're using to pick these big bottles, 3 of them, 4 meter bottles, 4 meter size, these pipes. That's the size of the bottles, and the length of it is at least 60 meters long, full of liquid hydrogen. Okay, so we carry them with these submarines, come hovercraft, but most of the time we are storing them under the sea, close to the land, under the sea, then offloading them into smaller bottles. Okay, so everything's bottled and straight into electric cars. But I'll just stay on the liquid hydrogen. From there, we transport it by helicopter. They're running on fuel liquid hydrogen as well. Okay? And could more than possibly be liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. Okay? Helicopters. So we've got to convert the big Mi-26 Russian helicopters. They'll carry at least 30 tons of a bottle. So we'll only make the bottles that size to the weight that the helicopter will carry, one bottle, right, to the destinations where they fill up the small bottles for the cars, for the electric cars. So then we've got that. And then we go on to the solid metal hydrogen, which is another compressing effort. Okay, we can do that either electrically or split it out again, or by compressing it again into solid metal. But we've got HB Technologies to do that. They can take over after that because they have the canisters to do that. We have a pending contract with them in Taiwan, and that's in place. Butian, that's his name. I forget what his first name is, but anyway, he's the director, owner. Bai Butan. I'm just forgetting what his first name is. Anyway, I've spoken to him and sent emails to him. So he can do he said he can build the tanks for us to suit aircraft or whatever. So that's that part of the plan. And the Swedish have got the big 30-ton compressors for the liquid hydrogen. See, so that's in place. I mean, the turbines will turn under the sea, no doubt about that. That's just physical stuff. It's all the other engineers fitting all their componentry to extract the electricity and the hydrogen. We have our own wireless generators on the end of the turbines, but I won't go into that too much because that's the MHD, magnetothermohydrodynamics, MHTD technology of the water pressure that's exhausted after it's hit the turbines. It goes down and back out the shaft of the blades right to the end, then it goes the other way out with the water jet. So it's jetting the water out to push the turbines on the tips around. So we're getting added power from burning hydrogen rocket under the water. Rocket engine is in the turbine venturi. That's a water jet plus a burnt rocket engine, burnt fuel rocket engine out there as well, in the middle of it. Okay, so we've got that generator as being the generator. If we don't need the other generator, we're just using that one. So one or the other, this one will take over creating the power, electricity, not the big thing turning at the top. But that's all right because the inertia from the heavy concrete steel makes extra energy. So I'm just adding up everything in front of you, in your mind, how we extract that much power out of seawater tides. In fact, out of 50% of electricity, out of 100% of the electricity we produce, we only get 45 to 50% as liquid hydrogen. Okay, so we're burning up half of it to get only a half worth out. And that's the right formula. But where we make it up is this. The actual magnetothermohydrodynamic MHTD power generator on the end of the turbines gives us an extra 45% of our power back. Did you hear that? we're getting 45% of our power back. In fact, out of the whole exercise, we have only lost 5 to 10% of the original electricity power from the tide. If any of you can pick that up, then you're pretty well onto it, because that's how we get free energy converted back into usable energy, by recycling what we've already used back into the power generation. Okay, so that's how we don't need moving parts other than those turbine blades, and that's it. We would not need any much more to make the power out of it into electricity, rather than have electric generators that high resistant users of energy. Okay, so we're not heating up anything to get the energy back out of electricity with these generators. The MHD generator, okay, the MHTD generator is more popular with my way of thinking, and the use of magnets, superconducting magnets in our system. What I mean by that, the superconducting is the hydrogen-cooled magnets that we install into the ventures to pick up the power. Okay, that's how we do it. We're doubling up on everything by going superconducting 100%. Okay, 100%. So that explains some of the concept plan without any models, because if I had models, I'll show you how they work. And they are, I've seen all the other models. I know, being a mechanic, engineer, to know that something that spins or something that's going to produce power is either big or small in power output. We're going crazy with the power output, that it will bust dynamometers that test for power. It'll just rip the thing right off, okay, off the scale. This one. So you're looking at a bigger output for less cost, and less space, of marine space. In 40 meters, we're taking up a 40-meter area with the legs on the outside of this pipe, and we're taking that as being the platform above the sea. Okay, the platform above the sea is on the 8 legs, and those 8 legs stabilize the blades in the water. So you live up the top on the bridge. The bridge, that's just one, and then you got another one, 3. There's 3 of these, and then the airport on top. Okay, the helicopters and everything on top, and the submarines down below. So, but that's about all I need to explain for now, because there's somebody on the line, and I'll just see who it is, and I'll keep talking as I go and see, because I'm keeping an eye on the video that I'm making for you, and I'll just check to make sure they're not someone important as to stop doing things, because they always seem to come when I'm doing a video. Anyway, I'll just look. Just won't be a second. I have people from all over the place saying hello and all this and good wishes and things. But we are hoping to get engineers, once we get our crowdfunding going, to engage everyone, all the companies who will provide the steel and their technologies, and also all the other equipment and things for these projects. I'll just tell them I'm making a movie. It's one of our boys that are waiting to talk to me. So just 1 minute. No, here we are. Always happens, but anyway, we can carry on, because I've just said for him to wait until I finish off. So this is just because I haven't got any models to show you. I'm in Auckland, New Zealand, and we've been doing this since around about 2004. We've been working on this concept of the Maui tidal turbine energy bridge concept. I worked with Martin Berger. I don't know where he is now. He's the Canadian that put together the Blue Energy Canada project, and that failed to get off the ground here with his bridge concept. So that's how I started, because I didn't think his one was going to work too well, and I haven't seen anything of it since. So that's going a long way back, and I did all the research for that, and on top of that I just went my way and he went his way. But he made a lot of money out of shares. I haven't made anything yet, because I'm still refining what I'm doing, so that by the time I finish now, it's the most powerful tidal turbine in the world that I can say at this stage, just looking at it and going over and over and over and over and over to make sure I've got as much power as I can get out of a small marine space of area. Okay, so it doesn't take up much room to make that much power out of it. One of these turbines with 10 of these blades on should pull out about 15,000 megawatts to 3,000 megawatts out of just one of these blades, the cascade of blades, 10 of them. Okay, that's what it'll pull out with the superconducting power from just 40 square meters of area, volume, 100 meters deep. Just that marine space. It's not going to upset the whole environment having windmills all over the place or solar panels all over the place. It'll just do away with a lot of used up space on the hills if you just carted them with a hydrogen powered plane. The big Mi-26 Russian plane will just carry these things to land, but the submarines are quicker to take more bigger ones that carry huge tons, because it's floating under the water as being dead weight, no weight at all when it's ballasted. Okay, we ballasted on that ship that we're building to carry them up the Thames River in London from Margate, but it's only shallow in Margate, so we can only, I've got to go and have a look and see what sort of currents are there. But I wanted one there because it's close to London, and no matter what, even if there's one of them in the water, then that'll be a test model there. But in Orkney Islands, in Scotland, and Pentland Firth, it'll rip the power out of there, and tons of it, you see. So it's quicker to go by submarine on the top of these submarines, straight to the land, underwater, flat out, by jet propulsion with the fuel. Okay, so that's all I want to do for now. I will just leave this video there, but we will see how the crowdfunding goes, and I'm hoping that people will donate, because once again, when you donate, we're going to offset your donation against that amount against shares in our company and be a member. So if you're going to put donations in, more than likely, if you've got more than £25, it's one share, and £10 for an annual subscription. That's the minimum that anyone can get. So if anybody contributed 25 or even £35 into this project as donation, then we will offset your donation against a credit on a share. Donations are donations, and we'll take donations as donations. Only if you want to put it in as donations, it'll stay as donations. But if you got details there of yourself, then we will certainly have to give what we get in revenue back to the beneficiaries and the members. So we can't hold on to it. And even the money we recover from debts and fraud business, that all goes back to the members who join us, and including donations from donors who help us. If you help us, we certainly will return the favour. Put it this way. And they call it perks. This is like a good perk. It's a real good perk. So thank you very much, people, for watching this video, and we'll catch up with you very soon. It's daylight now on today, this Wednesday, the 22nd of April 2015. It is now 7:28 a.m. in Auckland, New Zealand, and the temperature is around about 15 degrees. Beautiful weather here, going into winter. So, John Wana, Auckland, we'll see you again. Bye for now.